What is happening, everybody? It's the Miami Football Fanatic here again. Happy to have you guys back here for some more Dolphins content. And today we're going to be doing a mock draft using the fanspeak on the clock mock draft simulator. Going to be picking as the Dolphins, obviously 7 rounds, using the fanspeak big board and using the classic algorithm. Using classic algorithm tends to make these drafts much more interesting and makes for a more fun video for you guys. It makes there's better options in the first 4 rounds or so and through the draft. Okay, so let's get started here with the draft. So here for the Dolphins, if we want to go quarterback, I'd really want Dwayne Haskins or Kyler Murray. Any other guy I really do not think is worthy of a first round pick. Especially at quarterback. But my dream pick here for the Dolphins would be Dwayne Haskins, but as you can see there, he got picked by the Jaguars. But right here, first 3 rounds for the Dolphins, all I want to do is just accumulate blue chip talent. We're going to be rebuilding the next few years, so just got to build up that talent base and bring in as many talented alpha blue chip players as we can. So there's a couple guys right here. Greedy Williams, even though he didn't have the same production he had in 2017, LSU corner, he'd be good here. Devin White, I think that if we were to get rid of Kiko Alonso, Devin White would be a great pick here. But Drew Lock, he's intriguing. He's got some arm talent, but I don't think he's no Patrick Mahomes. Jeffrey Simmons, he's a talented interior defensive lineman. He's a guy, he's very scheme versatile. DK Metcalf, he's a freak tight end. Wide receiver. Noah Fant, he's a he's a wide receiver playing tight end. He's going to kill it. But so obviously our major needs are interior defensive line and guard, especially in the first few rounds. Michael Dida, Michael Jackson, Chris Lindgren. That's 5 solid options right there. Dalton Risner, I think that's a bit too high for him to go here. But honestly, we really need a top-notch corner opposite Xavier Howard. And offensive tackle. I guess. DeAndre Baker, I really like. I'm going to go ahead and grab him. Greedy Williams, I think that he can kind of lose the ball at times, even though he had I think it was 6 or 7 interceptions for LSU in 2017. At times he can lose the ball, and also he doesn't seem to show great physicality when tackling and defending the run and tackling a player that wasn't his man. So DeAndre Baker, he's a much more he's not as big as Greedy Williams, but he's an incredible physical cornerback, which is what you'd expect from a player that played in the Georgia secondary. DeAndre Baker, he's got all the makings of being an elite corner. He's got tremendous speed, but he's also got great physicality, which is something that we've seen from Xavier Howard the past couple of years. So DeAndre Baker, he's our 13th overall pick. Drew Lock, probably, could have gone Drew Lock or Jeffrey Simmons, but I really don't like Jeffrey Simmons' past. I really would prefer not to have a player that has had the kind of past that Jeffrey Simmons has. Okay, so we're on to the second round. Same as the first round, we really want to grab a blue chip player, and Josh Jacobs definitely is a blue chipper. Nasir Adderley, he's a great free safety, but we've already got Minka. Garrett Bradbury, incredibly solid center. Irv Smith, he's a great dual threat tight end. He's a great blocker and he's a great receiver. So John Williams, I really love Rocky Sin, Amani Rourie and Juan Williams, but we already grabbed DeAndre Baker, so that would be a bit of a waste of a pick. Daniel Jones, not a big fan of him. He's a Tannehill 2.0. Tyree Jackson, I mean, don't know what to expect from him. Will Greer, I think that we might be able to grab him in the 3rd round. Ryan Finley, yeah, he's more of a 4th or 5th round pick. But let's just see what we got out here. So, Josh Jacobs, man, I'd love to have him on the team, but, you know, we got other needs. AJ Brown, Debo Samuel, JJ Arcega, Whiteside, tight end, Irv Smith, don't really know where to go here. Whoa, he's moved up. He's moved up in a big way. Charles Amenu, I think. Amenu. He was ranked like 130th overall. Now he's 48th. Good. He's gotten a big Senior Bowl bump. He'd be great here. But he's more of a project player. Devin Bush. Oh, man, I'd love him in our defense. But honestly, I want to go with the needs here. And I want to build the team the right way, even though there's a bunch of dynamic players here. Josh Jacobs. You know what? Let's go ahead and grab... oh, this is taking way too long than I wanted it to. But Gerald Willis. He is a beast on the inside from Miami this year. He has had a bit of a troubled past before he got to Miami, but this year he was just an absolutely force in the interior defensive line. He's a penetrating force that gets into the backfield consistently, and that's exactly what we need. So go ahead there and grab Gerald Willis. Even though we could have got an AJ Brown or Debo Samuel or JJ Arcega Whiteside from Stanford, the wide receivers. I really want to build the team the right way and go with our needs at this point. And Gerald Willis really is, I'm not sure if he's a blue chipper, but he is a top-notch talent. I mean, that does kind of contradict what I said, but I really think he's going to be a force in the league. So that's a solid pick for us there. All right, on to the 3rd round. So Gerald Willis really turned out to be a nice pick for us in the 2nd round because we've still got a number of solid guards left. Michael Jordan, he played center this year for Ohio State, but he can easily move to guard. He's a huge guard at 6'7". And so Bo Benchwell from Wisconsin, he's another big guard, 6'6", and he's a guy that I really like. But let's have a quick look. Will Greer still available, and we really do need to draft a quarterback this year. Even if he isn't going to be our starter in the future, we really need to upgrade. Or Jonathan Abram, he's another intriguing pick there. He's a lot like Derwin James, just a dominant, dynamic athlete. He's going to kill it in the league in many ways. But honestly, we really need a top-notch guard. And Michael Jordan, he's an incredible, versatile player. He's very incredibly versatile, so let's grab him. I mean, he played pretty well for Ohio State this year at center, so that's exactly what we need. We need offensive linemen that can play multiple positions, and we really need to upgrade the interior of the line. So Michael Jordan will be a perfect pick. He can play center or guard. And those are huge glaring needs for us, especially with the team probably moving on from Daniel Kilgore and Ted Larson. I'm pretty sure they won't be back. Jesse Davis, he could come back on a 2 or 3 year deal. We'll see how much the team values him. But Jesse Davis, I really like him. He's a guy who is versatile on the line as well. He played right guard and right tackle for us in his first year. Played exclusively at right guard this year. But yeah, we'll see. Like I said, we'll see how much the Dolphins respect his services. Okay, so on to the 4th round here. Preferably here, I'd want to get a receiver, maybe an edge rusher. Oh, that is perfect. Joe Jackson from Miami, Gerald Willis' teammate. They were both incredibly dominant for Miami this year. I mean, I've watched multiple games, especially their game against LSU. They were just blowing up LSU's offensive linemen and just continuously blowing up plays. But Jared Stidham there, he's an incredibly solid quarterback. He's a guy who definitely was held back in Auburn's offense. Brett Ripien, I think we could probably get him in the 5th round. Anthony Johnson, he's a nice, talented, big body receiver, nice and physical. Anton Wesley, he's another big physical receiver, but I mean, actually, he isn't. He reminds me a lot of Devontae Parker. He doesn't play with much physicality at all. So I really wouldn't want a repeat of Devontae Parker. I'm sure that there's a chance he could get injured in the league. We've seen that from a fragile receiver like Devontae Parker before. But bang, is another need taken care of. Joe Jackson for Miami. I mean, he reminds me a lot of Cleveland Ferrell. I mean, I think honestly they've got similar talent on the field, but I think Cleveland Ferrell playing for Clemson and deciding to go back into the draft last year definitely has risen his draft stock, and Cleveland Ferrell is definitely going to be a top 15, top 20 pick. Joe Jackson, he could very well go in the 2nd round. That's how talented he is. But in this mock draft, he's fallen to us, and we're lucky enough to grab him. But I really do not see Joe Jackson being available in the 4th round. But for the sake of this mock draft, he's fallen our way. Okay, we're here to the 5th round. As you can see, we still need a quarterback. And also, it's saying that we need an offensive tackle, but I mean, if Jawan James comes back, that isn't going to be a big need, but we'll have to see how that develops. But there you go, Brett Ripien's gone. Gardner Minshew, I haven't watched much tape on him, but he does seem like a guy that can maybe develop into something, but don't think you'd want to get him here in the 5th round. There's other great talents here, like Mike Weber. His running style reminds me of, I mean, he isn't Ezekiel Elliott, but he played at Ohio State, and you can definitely see Ezekiel Elliott's influence in Mike Weber's game. He's got a similar running style and similar vision, but obviously he's no Zeke, but he's a great talent. Darrell Henderson, he is an absolute beast from Memphis. Oof. With Brett Ripien gone, that might be my pick. I suggest you guys go and watch his tape and have a look at his stats this past year. I mean, he had 20 touchdowns and damn near like 9 yards a carry. He was absolutely dominant. He's got the speed and the physicality to match. He makes guys bounce off him at will. He reminds me a lot of Devontae Freeman, the running back from the Atlanta Falcons. But I don't see any other options here. Stanley Morgan Jr. Ooh, David Sills. You know what? David Sills is the pick. Reminds me a lot of Cooper Kupp, the receiver that the Rams took in 2017. They got incredibly similar games. He's 6'3", a bit bigger than Cooper Kupp, but he was great in the red zone, and he's a former quarterback, and you can see that knowledge out there in the field. But he's got tremendous speed and runs great routes, and he's got tremendous hands. And I think this past year, he had 18 touchdowns. The last 2 years, he had 15 and 18 touchdowns. Not sure which one of those totals is 2017, 2018, but that is well over 30 touchdowns the past few seasons. So I think he'd be tremendous for us. So we have missed out here on a quarterback, but I mean, honestly, if the Dolphins couldn't grab Dwayne Haskins or Kyler Murray, I really would want us to go with a bridge quarterback, someone like Teddy Bridgewater or a Tyrod Taylor. Maybe even go forward with Luke Falk. But really, this draft is about stacking up talent, and we've done that with DeAndre Baker, Gerald Willis, Michael Jordan. He's versatile, center guard, Joe Jackson, and David Sills. That is 5 talented players that would definitely be part of the Dolphins core moving forward. Okay, So Trace McSorley is still there. You know what? Let's go ahead and grab him. The Penn State quarterback. He's a guy. He reminds me actually a lot of Baker Mayfield, and he's not a Baker Mayfield, but he's incredibly elusive at eluding pressure in the pocket. He's very accurate, and he's a great athlete too. I mean, he can really get out there and get some chunk yards on the ground. But I really like his talent as a quarterback, and he's done it for many years for Penn State and in the Big Ten. Actually, let's have a quick. I'll show you his stats, man. He is no slouch. All right. Yeah, he'd be tremendous for the Dolphins quarterback room. He's just an incredibly talented. He's a talented quarterback who I think would definitely be some good competition for our future quarterbacks. So there you go. This past year, his percentage did dip down. That could be from losing Saquon Barkley and Mike Gesicki, but as you can see in 2017, he completed 66% of his passes, 28 touchdowns, 10 picks, 153 rating. He's the real deal. Alrighty, so onto the 7th round here. We want to get a guy that can help out on special teams, maybe develop into a player that can be a depth piece moving forward. But here, you really want to grab, a nice athlete that can help out in special teams, like I said, and maybe be something in the future. Alrighty, I'm waiting for the Dolphins pick. And that is perfect right there. Deshaun Davis from Auburn. He was pretty good for Auburn this past year. He's a bit of a small linebacker, but he's definitely is a force. Ooh, Daniel Wise. That's another intriguing option. He's a talented interior guy. He's definitely not going to be available in the 7th round. But let's go ahead and grab Deshaun Davis. Nice little piece for us, especially with Stephon Anthony and maybe Mike Howell being gone. We definitely need another linebacker to be a key piece on special teams, and Deshaun Davis, I think he'd be great for us in that role. So overall, I mean, we didn't get a quarterback, and we didn't get like a dominant skill position player. Even though David Sills, I really think he can be similar to Cooper Kupp, but we got blue chip players all across the board. DeAndre Baker, Gerald Willis, Michael Jordan, Joe Jackson, filling up 4 major needs there. And David Sills, Trace McSorley, Deshaun Davis. Overall, solid draft for the Dolphins. And as you can see here, that is incredible. That is incredibly accurate. I can definitely see the draft falling that way. Nick Bosa going to the Cardinals. Quinnen Williams going to the 49ers. Josh Allen to the Jets. Rashawn Gary to the Raiders. Cleveland Ferrell, I think he probably won't be going there. That could definitely be Ed Oliver there for the Buccaneers. Jonah Williams. I mean, the Giants, they definitely have to take a quarterback this year. Dwayne Haskins is the guy for them. But overall, I didn't use the difficult algorithm. That can be harder to grab some players, but this looks incredibly accurate, this top 10. But for the Dolphins, we have built the talent base, and we've definitely grabbed many players that fill positions of need. Alrighty, guys, so that's it for my first mock draft of the year. I forgot to mention that. My first mock draft that I'm going to upload to YouTube, but let me know what you think. Let me know what players you might have grabbed in different picks, and if you agree with my assessment, on the picks and on the Dolphins' needs. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, fins up, baby. Cheers, folks.